Hello everyone, Argsy here. Welcome back to Argsy Farms. We are into April, or well into April actually. It is the very last day of April and we've got a lot of things to do before the end of the month, which of course does change time at the end of today. This is the end of the day, so we've got about 16 hours or so to get a few things done. Now hopefully it won't take us that long, but we're just on our way down to PA Creek Ranch. That is Corpnut's farm. It's one of the other farms here on the map, and we're going to go and borrow his plough because I want to get around the outside of the field that we subsoiled and get that ploughed, increase the area of that field a little bit. And then we've got some rocks we're going to need to pick up, which Corpnut again does have a rock picker which we might try and borrow, and we'll see how we go with that. And then hopefully, all going well, we can get some canola planted before the end of the day and the end of the planting window, which is obviously going to be the critical thing. Now, excuse my driving. This is just one of the challenges is playing on this server. Just a little bit of lag here for me, being so remote from it. But otherwise, everything seems to be working just fine. Now, we've had some help. Legion has joined our farm. We do have a farmhand. So Legion is going to be there helping us out. He's already mown and baled one of the fields. So we've got a few silage bales already back at the yard, fermenting. They still need to be unloaded, but we do have the second of the grass fields. We do still want to get in and get mowing before the end of the month if we can, so we'll see how we go with time today and getting that one done as well. So anyhow, let's carry on down to Corpnut's farm. We will see what he is up to when we grab the plough. So we're just coming up here on the PA Creek Ranch. Now I'm not exactly sure where the front gate is. I think this is it in here. Here we go. Just in here, so we'll just head on in. I can see Corpnut is over there working one of his fields. So like I said, we will go and check out what he is up to, and we'll go and find his plough. He said it's in one of his sheds somewhere, so we'll keep an eye out for that. But I'll show you in the map in just a minute, just exactly where his farm is and where he is set up. Looks like he's doing a bit of rock picking. There we go. There's the plough. So we'll get backed in there and get that picked up, and then we'll go have a look at what he's up to. Alright, there we go, that's the plough all hooked up. Now like I said, I'll show you exactly where we are on the map so you can get an idea on where this farm is. So right down here in the middle is the PA Creek Ranch. So we've got this field here where Corp's working at the moment. He's got a couple more fields over here, and he's also, we just come over here and have a look, he's actually purchased this a bit of land here which has the chicken farms on it. So he's got 500 head of chicken there already, or head of chickens? Chicken? 500 head of chickens, so that is his. There we go, just pop over here and have a look at him. He is running around the edge of the field, getting his rocks picked up. I don't know what he's doing with them once he's loaded them up or not, but he's there running. He's gone for the Massies as well. He went for a similar sort of tractor to what we did. So obviously, like I said, good bang for buck there with the Massies. We might just throw the drone up while we're here and just get a couple of shots of him working. Alright, well that's probably enough time hassling Corp and getting in his way, so we'll leave him here to carry on working on his field. Go and jump back in the tractor and head on up to ours and make a start on the ploughing. So here we are up at field 34. We'll just get pulled into the field entrance here. Then we'll make a little bit of a plan, get the plough unfolded and then figure out exactly what we're going to be doing. Decided I was going to go with about an extra tractor width, so if we can get to about here around the whole field, I think that will be a big advantage. So we'll just get this unfolded. I need to flip it the other way. I need to remember which way to turn it. I think that's the turn button there. The fold button. No, that's turning it. Alright, so we get that turned. Now we're going to have to turn allow create fields on. I'm just going to turn all our flashing indicators and everything like that off. Now let's lower that down. And we're going to plan. We've got create fields on. Now I'm going to go incredibly slowly around doing this because there's every chance and every possibility that I could lag out at any stage and end up going through a hedge and putting a big gash through the edge of our field. But I think it might seem like a lot of effort to go to for a small amount of gain, but there's quite a bit of perimeter around this field, and I think some of the headlands might be able to be increased just a little bit more than some of the others. So I think in the long run it will be worth it, and particularly as once we've got this done, then we can go and purchase our precision farming information and all of that sort of carry on, get some lime on the field and get it seeded with some canola to give us the best possible yield and the best possible start. So we'll just race around and get this done. It shouldn't take us too long at all, and once we're done we'll take a look at the precision farming info. And there we are once around the field, and we've made it a little bit bigger. You can sort of see along there, but a little bit closer, and likewise down the side. We didn't actually do the far end, and I can actually show you on the map. You can make out the purple lines there. In fact, if we turn off our seed bed, or there you go, you can just make out the ploughed state around the outside. So it's added a little bit of area. Is it significant? Probably not. Will it provide more crop? Yes, it will. So I guess there's some benefit there from that. So get that turned back on. But what that does mean is we can now go into the precision farming menu and buy the field information for this one. So $12,000 just over for this, 46 samples taken, 4.3 hectare field. So we'll purchase that and we'll let it appear. It'll take just a second for it to refresh. In fact, we exit out of there and go and have a look. There we go. And I'm actually pretty happy with that. Sandy loam and loam sand across a lot of it. So I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, sandy loam is one of the best yielding land types, one of the better land types to have. So that's pretty good. No silty clay, which is an even bigger benefit. Having a look at the pH levels there, we do need to get some lime on that before we plant it, so that is probably our next task. Nitrogen's low, as I would have expected, but we'll deal with that later. We'll spread some fertilizer on this manually. And obviously we've got no yield information there or anything on that with the seed rate as well. So anyhow, there we go. That's all sorted. So next job, we'll get some lime spread, and we'll also try and get that rock picker. Come and get these rocks all taken care of. We're just pulling into the grass field here that we own, and as you can see quite evidently and quite clearly, this has been mown and has now been cleared out. So we are going to get in and give this a plough as well. It's going to be our next job. Try and again widen this, but just give us the opportunity to improve the yield on the crop. So I did want to try and get this done in April so we could get the grass reseeded and growing again before May, so we just had that jump start on the growth stage, but it's not too much of a critical thing if we don't. Obviously grass can be planted mostly year round. Our canola can only be planted in April, so that was why today's focus is on getting that canola planted. But I'm going to disconnect the plough. We're going to leave it here. Hopefully Corp won't mind us looking after it for just a little while. Of course we will be paying him for it, and we'll double check that he doesn't need it either. I'm not sure if he's got any more land to plough. I don't think he does, but we'll make sure that if he needs it, we will return it. Alright, well there we go, we've got that all disconnected and we will leave that there. Let's head on back down to the farm. I think we'll have a look at our bales. In fact, we've got a few of our bales still on the trailer that we do need to unload, so we'll again get those all unloaded. Just make sure we've got our flashes and everything on there. We've got the beacon on. I think the beacon's on. Anyhow, we will go and get those bales unloaded because I might have to use the trailer to go and get some more lime. Again, I was hoping to use some services for that, but as time has put us in a position, we might just have to do it ourselves. We're just getting the last bale here off the trailer. I've managed to unload them all. You wouldn't have seen it when we started, but got to admit, Legion had done a fantastic job stacking the first few bales in here, but with my ping, I'm struggling a little bit, and it started alright, and then it just got progressively worse, and now we have this situation here in front of us, which is a little bit of a mess. It's not ideal, but it is what it is. A decent amount of bales in here though, and they are all still fermenting. It does say grass silage though. Does that mean they're fermented? Be good if they have actually, be able to use them. Anyhow, now we've got that all unloaded, we will swap the trailers over. We'll just take it down with the front loader. We'll put that on the back of here so we can come in, get everything unhooked off that, and get the weight off the back of this one. Go and put the bag handler on the front, and we'll go down and get some, in fact, you know what we could do? What I might even do, we might put the spreader, use the low loader, run the spreader up the back, and then, no, we'll put the spreader on last, but we will do that. We'll put the spreader on the back of the trailer, be able to load up some lime on the front, and then we can run it all down together. We can go straight from the dealer back down there, and we can use the small tractor to spread it all. So, with that in mind, let's go and get that all set up and sorted. I changed my mind. I figured the field was close enough to the yard, there wasn't actually much point in trying to haul the spreader on the back of the trailer here. We just take this down, take it over to the field once we've got some lime on it, and then we can just shoot back over there and pick up the other tractor with the spreader on it, and then we don't have to unhook and rehook up when we're in the field, loading up the bags into the back of the spreader and all of that sort of carry on. So we'll just head on down to the store, we'll get things loaded up and then head on over to the field. We're loaded up with 24,000 litres of lime, 12 bags on the back, 2,000 litres a pop. Now hopefully this tractor's going to have enough oomph to pull it along. Should be alright, seems to be going okay so far. And hopefully we'll get back to the field without any dramas. Loaded it up, no issues whatsoever. I think the wheel weights certainly helped. We didn't have any extra weight or anything on the back, but of course 2,000 litres of lime, not quite as much as the 5,000 litre bale of silage, so should be able to handle it, even though the lime is pretty dense of course. But target now, head on down to the field, and we'll go and grab the other tractor and get back over and try and start getting some lime spread. Now, isn't it funny when you play on your own game save, you become so used to the mods that you always have, that when you jump on a multiplayer server, there might be some mods that you would have used that you can't have, and you forget what some of the base game constraints are. Now, of course, this spreader won't take lime, and I just noticed that having a look, it is only configured for fertilizer, and there's no option for lime, so we're not even going to be able to apply our own lime to the field, like I had planned, so that puts a little bit of a spanner in the works. Now, there's plenty of people out there offering a service who could. I know Dazed has the ability to provide a liming service, and that might be something we have to do. Likewise with the rocks, and it's a bit of a learning curve for me probably here. Don't leave everything till the last minute, till the last day, because if we'd had got this field ploughed a little bit sooner, we could have contracted someone to take the rocks off, we could have contracted someone to spread the lime, and then we would have been turning up today just to plant. So I'm not sure what our solution for this is going to be, because the pH was pretty terrible and we need to get it bumped up somehow. In the interim, I've been in touch with Corp again. His rock pick is finished and he is free of that, so we might shoot down and grab that so we can at least get all those stones taken off the edge of the field. I've got the trailer parked down at the field with the lime on the back, so the other option is if we can get someone who might be able to spread that lime for us in the next few hours, to leave it parked there and they can come down and use the lime. But I'm not quite sure exactly what we're going to do, but for now let's go and get those rocks picked up. Well, here we are back down at Corp's farm. He's got his trailer and front loader and everything like that, but there is the rock picker looking nice and clean. Now, it's going to take a wee while to cover that field with this width. It's not the biggest, it's not the best, but it'll do the job. That, again, if I was more organised, we could have had done earlier by someone else, but we weren't, so lesson learnt once more. Now, I've been thinking as we were driving down here, we might even consider just putting grass in the field rather than the canola. If we miss our planting window, then that is our fallback position. We don't have a planter or seeder. Can we get out this gate even? Oh, I don't know if we can go out that gate. We might have to go and have a chat to Corp and figure out which way we get out of the field, out of the yard. Alright, we had to sneakily go through the hedge because the gate wasn't big enough to get this out of here. Through the rabbit hole, as Corp said. It's obviously not a common sort of rock picker you'd probably find in the UK, but it is what it is, and it will do the job for us. But as I was saying, our fallback position of not getting the canola planted will be to put some grass in that field and try and supply some silage or something like that. Make some more silage, make some more hay. I do know that sheep is crying out for more grass on his farm, so it could be an option for us to be able to supply him. We could also try and invest more heavily and further into animals than I had initially planned, and therefore we can use that grass to keep them fed as well. So a few different options there. Canola would have been nice, but more as a cash crop and as a source of income in a few months' time once it's been harvested and finds a good price. Anyhow, lots to ponder. Let's get this on down to the field and we'll go and get some rocks picked. Let's take a look at getting this set up. Now I think if we unfold it there, like I said, it's not very wide. In fact, it's not much wider than the plough was, but if we get that turned on, even if it runs at a better speed, but there we are, we're getting some rocks picked up. I do wonder, it is quite a patchy area of rocks. I wonder if it's even worth just running around with it and put it up and down as we need to. Just get the rocks from the areas that are affected rather than going across the whole field. Might be a little bit faster, but I am going to run around the outside just because it changes that plough state there to a cultivated state or a seed bed or whatever it might be, and it just makes it all look a little bit neater. Plan at the moment is we will just dump the rocks on the edge of the field. If there's someone who wants to buy them or take them off us, I'm really not too fussed. If they want to come and get rid of them, then they are welcome to, so we might put that offer out to some of the other farms as well. I know Dazed have been looking at some for his lime spreading operation, so we'll wait and see. Anyhow, let's just crack into this. We'll go through and get this field done. Again, it's going to take longer than I'd thought. Everything takes longer because of all the little shortcuts and little things you might do if you're on a single player server or with your own mods. Just having to drive 4 kilometers across a map to get to the store and 4 kilometers back, and a couple of kilometers there and back just down to get this from Corpnut. Pick up the plough. You spend a lot of time driving around because things are spread out, things are varied, which makes it interesting, makes it a little bit more interesting, but does mean that planning has to be a whole lot more important, and that's probably where I've let myself down so far. So anyhow, let's get this done, get into it with some gusto, and start thinking about our plans, what we need to do in May as well, because it's going to come around and we don't want to have the same mistake of waiting forever like we did this time. Well, our prayers have been answered. Dazed happened to log in and he is now here with his lime spreader. He's going to get some lime spread all on our fields as we carry on with the rock picking. Been doing it a bit haphazard all over the place, but should be all good. So hopefully you can reach it. We'll have a look. We'll see if we can reach it or not with the loader. If not, hopefully we can just, as Dazed has said, hopefully he might be able to load out of the bags just by pulling up next to it. But let's go and have a look and see what happens. Perfect. Reaches up and over it, no worries. It's quite good actually with that drop side on the spreader here. So we should be able to get these unloaded. In fact, if I lower it off level, it should go a whole lot quicker. So I'm not sure how many of these we'll put in, but we'll throw a bit in and see how far it gets across the field. Hopefully it will get far enough that we'll be able to get this all done. Alright, well he took a couple of bags. He did say he already had some in there. It's set to full. And we're going to get him underway. Any preference for what side to start? No, we'll let him know he can just go from wherever, and we'll just carry on with what we're doing. There we go, Dazed is underway with the spreading. Now if we just jump into precision farming, just taking a look there, it is going up. It's not going up quite as much as I thought it might have been. There we go, that's got better. So I wonder if that was just a weird little glitch, or whether he might have had it set on a manual rate rather than automatic, because now it looks like it's applied at a better rate. So we'll just carry on while he's doing that. We'll carry on getting these rocks done. I definitely think it is working out better for me while it is hard to just zigzag around and pick up the rocks we can see rather than covering the whole field. You can see we've only done about 4 passes down there and we've got a long way across the field. If we'd gone up and down every row possible, we would have been only about as far across as I am now. So certainly much better for us. There we go, Dazed all done with getting the lime applied. Now it has made it quite a lot harder to spot the rocks with the lime on here, which is a bit unfortunate, but you can see we're turning our limed field into what looks a little bit like a downhill ski slope with the skiers zigging and zagging across. So there we go, and it's a freebie. It's not enough to charge for without the lime. We'll give him the rocks. He can take the rocks, and they're all his if he wants to get them crushed into some more lime, and that might offset things there for his time to come down here and do that for us. We've got 2 more fields. He's going to have to do 2 at some stage, the 2 grass fields once we get those ploughed, so I will certainly be making sure he charges us for those. But anyhow, we just take a quick look at our long map. You can see the speckles of rocks are disappearing, and we've probably only got a couple of decent lengths there that we still need to do, and then we'll be all done. Be able to get over here with our seeder, a little planter, a little weeder, and get our canola seeds scattered across the field. So we'll carry on, get this all finished off. We've already filled the rock picker up once with about 4,000 litres of rocks, so there's going to be about 6,000 or 7,000 litres of rocks come off this field. A lot more than I thought there might have been when I was looking at it, but certainly will make it worthwhile if Days wants to come and get them at some stage. So we'll carry on and get this finished, get into some planting. Well, there we are, all done, just getting the last couple of thousand litres of stones tipped out, so we ended up with, I don't know, 6,000 litres. Like I said, Dave's just going to come and pick those up and take them away, and that is payment for him coming and spreading the lime. Obviously didn't have to buy any lime for us because we supplied all of that. So we're going to head on down. Now I'll talk to Corp about keeping this for a little bit longer. We're paying him by the hour. I hope you mean hour of usage, but we'll communicate that with them once we've finished, because I want to get down here and put our lights on and get out of the middle of the road. That was close. I want to park this down here with the plough and possibly use it for use it in this field when we get that one ploughed up as well. But I don't think we're going to get that done. Well, certainly I'm not going to get it done before the end of the end of month, end of April. It might just be something that's going to have to slip into May, but we're definitely going to get that canola planted. That is the last thing on my list to do in this session while I'm online, and I'm not going to have a chance to get back on. So it's good. We've managed to actually achieve. Very fortunate that Days logged in when he did and was able to come and sort the lime out. There was a little bit of a stroke of luck there, but you've got to take those opportunities when you can. Anyhow, we'll park this up here. We'll head on back down and get our seeder. In fact, we'll probably go up and get the other tractors instead, because we need to get the seeds. It's no point having the seeder without the seeds, and we'll need more than one load, so we can't just load it up while we're down there. So we'll get this disconnected, leave it sitting just here for now, and go and sort out this the seeder and things. Time to go seeding. I'm excited for this. We've got everything set up already. We've already put some seed here up in the hopper. It only takes 300 litres, not a huge amount, but we've got the trailer down here. We've got a couple of bags of seed as well. I'm not sure how much we're going to need. I'm hoping not too much, but this is 9 meters wide, so it's going to cover a decent amount of area pretty quickly, which will be good. So I'm intrigued to see how far we get. Now, you might notice we do have Pro Seed in the game. It is one of the options, but of course a seeder like this, which is kind of just a wide broadcast seeder, wouldn't have the fine control that you would have for putting tram lines in. So we won't be doing that. Won't be making any use of this. But anyhow, let's just take a look here. Get this all unfolded. Don't need our beacon lights on anymore. Right, so I think we'd get that powered up. We've already got canola selected. Just double check that. We'll get this lowered down, pull forward a little bit, and we should be seeding. So there we go, all up and underway. Now we'll jump out. We've used up a little bit of seed, not much at all, which is good. So just hop out here and have a look. Of course, nitrogen's going to be bad, crop rotation's good, pH value's good. It's going to need weeding, which is fortunate because we have a weeder, so we'll be able to come in and do that a little bit later. But look at that yield potential, 125%, currently 97%, but that's because our nitrogen is pretty low. We also may need to roll it, but we're going to miss out on that because I expect that in the first day of May it will have germinated, so we're not going to have an opportunity to roll it. So that small amount of bonus we are going to miss out on. But anyhow, I think everything's set up, everything good to go. We're going to crack in and get this field seeded, and it'll be us done here for today. So let's just carry on. We do have GPS, of course, so we will go through and set that all up. A and a B point along this side. There's our A. And go a little bit further and get our B point. That should just about do. Press our width size, and then if we turn it on, not quite online. It's a little bit frustrating. I'm just going back and try and redo that again. Wonder if there's a setting. There is a setting to snap to terrain angle. There we go. We want to turn that one off. We'll fire in here again and set this back up again. Reset our A point. A little bit further. Reset our B point. And there we are. Now we're good to go. Turn those lines back on. You can see we are looking pretty good. So there we go. You can see in the chat that Dazed was heading over to do some spreading as well for Corp. So nice to see the economy is starting to get up and going here on the map with lots of different people using lots of different people's services and some cross-farm economies starting to establish, which is pretty cool. Also nice with the proceed there. I can see we are getting that little bit of information coming through. Now, just before we go any further, I'll check the map just to make sure everything looks like it should. And there we go, you can see we've got our green stripe coming down here for growing. You can see the blue lines we followed for the stone picking. Definitely looking at it like that, you can see it was much more economical from our time point of view than covering the whole field, because it's some pretty small little lines. Compared to what we're doing now, it's not going to take too many passes to cover this field. So with that in mind, we might jump into a little bit of time lapse to close out the episode. We'll carry on, get this finished, catch up with you when we're done, and that'll be it for our work here in April. Well, just before we jump back into that time lapse, I did have tram lines on some way. I've just learnt that Control R will turn those on and off. So it looks like we'll go back around the headland once just to cover up those tram lines. We don't want them, we don't need them, and wouldn't expect to get them from this planter anyhow. When it comes time for any spraying, not that we'll have to, I'm hoping we can get in and fertilise while the plants are still young and get all our nitrogen on. Get the weeding done here with this weeder while they're small as well, and then we won't have to come in and worry about any of that carry on in terms of needing tram lines. So we'll see how we go. We'll monitor that as we move forward, but for now we will go around the headlands, and as you can see we're erasing that tram line there, so we'll get rid of that. Anyhow, let's carry on. We'll jump back into a time lapse. Dazed is going to come up and pick up those rocks too, so you might see him in the background while we're going around the fields. So we'll see when we're done. Take 3 at our time lapse. I was halfway through and got around the headlands, and we had a little technical error with my recording. I've run out of space on a hard drive, so we've freed up some more space. That is back to doing what it's doing now, and we'll be able to get together a little bit of a time lapse here as we carry on with our planting. It's going pretty well though, everything's alright. We're just about out of seed, but that's okay. We can back in under the bag we've got hanging up there. Dazed has been down, you can see his truck over the other side. He's been down with his wheel loader and picked up those rocks, so they've gone off the edge of the field now too, which is fantastic. But there we are. Let's jump into it, let's get into a bit of a time lapse, and hopefully this time we'll keep it going and we'll see when we're done. going to have just over 20 litres of seed out of that 1,000 litre bag left, and we're finished. Here we go, 25 litres. That's not bad, is it? Not a bad little guess, or bad efficiency on the usage of the bags. Of course we didn't guess, we gambled, but we brought the second bag over just in case, but we have only used the one, which is good. We'll be able to use the other one in the grass fields, but that is good. I'm super excited and so pleased I've been able to get here and get this all finished off. There was one stray patch of rocks somewhere in the middle of the field that I missed when we were doing the rock picking, but otherwise we got them all picked up, and now that messy field that was here before with all the lime and everything in it is all gone and finished. So we'll get things folded up. All that's left for us today is to get this all taken back over to the farm and everything packed up and put away. Well, there we are, all the equipment back here at the farm. We've just purchased ourselves a pressure washer. We didn't actually have one, so we've just put that down here nice and close to the entrance, so when you come in it's easy to clean your equipment off. We'll just give this both a quick wash down and we'll get things put away and make some plans for May. So what haven't we got done? Well, we haven't got both the grass fields mowed. We haven't got them ploughed and reseeded, which were the main things I did want to do in those fields. But the key thing is we have managed to get the canola planted before the end of the planting window, which was at the end of April. So I'm pleased we've been able to do that. Plans for May, well, carrying on with the grass work, I guess. We'll mow the other field, we'll try and get both of those grass fields ploughed and reseeded, and we'll also have some weeding and some fertiliser application to do as well. So we'll be able to get the spreader out. We've got some fertiliser already here in the shed, some bags over there in the distance, so we'll be able to use those and go and get the canola all ready to go, and then, well, we'll see where we end up. Maybe some animals. We are going to get some cows at some stage. We'll just have to wait and see where we go with those, and we'll just carry on working. So thank you all very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that review and recap of April. I'm going to leave you with a little bit of a montage of Days doing some spreading. He was doing the earlier in the week for one of the other farms, so enjoy that, and we'll catch you in the next one.